Okay, for ludicrous speed.
Okay, my dear Greg Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking Greg, your go.
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders!
Wow. Hey, great.
I got it.
We interrupt this sound file to bring you a terrifying announcement.
Are you aware that you're leaking coolant at an alarming rate?
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Well, I'm glad we got all that out in the open.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Saturday Morning Stateline Show.
How do I look? Go with that. Welcome. It is the Falling Rocks sign. You've seen it, right? The Falling Rocks road sign. It's less of a warning and more of a reminder to be lucky or die. My name is Greg. He's Tom somewhere hiding amongst his room. There he is. It is the 9th day of October of the year 2021, the latest it's ever been
In the history of mankind. Sorry about that. I thought we had like 4 minutes.
It's 9 o'clock. It's time to go.
It's 8 o'clock.
That's what I meant. It's 8 o'clock. We're going to take this to 9 o'clock. And people that watch this are going to watch it later. And then who knows what o'clock it's going to be when they're watching it. But
it's 5 o'clock somewhere. We know that.
Somewhere.
Right.
What's in this cup? I ain't telling.
But it is 5 o'clock somewhere.
No.
All right. What I did was I went and put my water on for my cup of coffee. So
good for you.
Bear with me. If I hear it going, I really thought I had like 4 minutes. I'm sorry.
we get to talking offline, off the air, whatever you want to call it, before the show. And sometimes I looked up and I was like, oh man, it's 7:57. We got to get rolling here. So here we are back on for the, how many, I wonder, I should probably have been numbering these shows so we know just how many episodes we have.
Well, all you really got to do is we've not ever missed a week. We've never missed a week. I have missed a couple because one time, like in the early going, I couldn't get my computer to work right. Couldn't get the audio or the video to work right.
We've been doing this on YouTube exclusively since the beginning of the year. So this is probably episode, whatever, 38 or 39 or something like that. Before that, Facebook Live, which actually in the last, every so often in the Facebook memories, last year's show pops up on Sundays because we're one day off from last year on the weeks. And so I don't rewatch every show, but every so often I'll be like, hey, what did we do that Saturday last year? What did we talk about? And the show we did a year ago now was a little bit different than the show that we're doing now. We've done a few different things as far as format. I was actually recording a bottom of the hour, like a news break at the time.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's when I would take my 4-minute break or whatever and go make my coffee or what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and it was kind of a cool way to do it, but after a while, I kind of started to realize there's no need to do that anymore. We're not on the radio. There's no need to take a break. And it's more fun to go through the SMS info stuff with Tom and Joann because then they can talk about some of the stuff. And
hang on, you can hear it in the background. Okay.
Oh no! So he unplugs his microphone and goes to get his coffee because his water's probably ready. We got a lot of shout outs to give this week, and I'm looking forward to getting into some of this stuff with Tom. But before we do any of that, we are going to do our big number of the week. And I'm waiting. I got to wait for Tom to come back. At last week, we had a tie score of 3-3.
I'm on the comeback trail.
I made the comeback, and now we're tied on the race to 10. I'm hoping this is the month that we get out and actually have our breakfast. I'm leaning toward not doing the show live again, though, Tom, at any location. It was kind of like the moon landing. It was really difficult. I'm not sure I want to go back.
Yeah.
Unless technology changes. We have a really strong Wi-Fi that I'm really, really happy with.
Well, we can always use my hotspot. I got a hotspot on my phone that works real well.
Okay. All right. Well,
So I mean, we probably should have done that in the first place, but
my guess is what we'll do, Tom. My guess is what we'll do is we won't do the whole show live from breakfast, but we'll go live at some point during our breakfast just to say, hey, look, we're here. And just do it on the phone and say, here's where we are. Our big number of the week this week is a very big number.
okay.
Big number of the week this week, 58 billion.
Wow.
58 billion. That's a big number. And the answer this week is wedding or WhatsApp. Wedding or WhatsApp. Have you ever used the WhatsApp app?
No, I have.
Okay, I didn't think so. I didn't either. It's a Facebook.
What's that?
What's that? What is that?
What's that?
So it's one of the.
I know it's something that Facebook owns.
Yeah, one of the that's owned by Facebook.
I avoid Facebook like the plague. Oh, they're going to mute it, aren't they?
We're streaming live on YouTube. The link is on Facebook, so we're not live on Facebook. For a while there, I was doing Facebook Live on my phone while we're doing live on YouTube, and that was kind of fun too. But again, I like to have my phone free for Joann's messages and for stuff during the show. So, I still got the Monday Night Football theme stuck in my head from.
Oh, I love it. You know how sounds and smells and voices or faces or pictures or whatever can invoke good memories. That's what it is for me with football and with the Monday Night Football sound.
Yes.
It just as soon as I hear dun 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 dun, dun, as soon as I hear that, it puts me back into a place in the middle to late 70s,
bring back
where I watched
football to ABC and take it off ESPN. Just bring it back.
Yeah, I really wish they would. But then they've got Sunday Night Football now on, it's NBC. But nonetheless, same thing for me. It's Al Michaels still, Chris Collinsworth, who I think is the best in the business. So
I like them both. It is, I think, the best football product on TV is.
Yeah, I like Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth as a team. That to me is the best. But good, Joann's here.
Joann can jump in at any time. I am still scrolling on stuff, which I shouldn't be doing. Why do I allow myself to get distracted? What am I doing here?
Because you're probably a little ADD like the rest of us.
A little ADD. So much to get to. I had a really busy week this week. The last weekend, which we kind of talked about just a little bit, but the last weekend, thankfully, the weather mostly cooperated. It got a little bit of rain on Saturday or on Sunday night. I think there was some rain on Saturday night too at some point, but it wasn't terrible. I actually ended up DJing 2 events last weekend, which I haven't done that in forever.
Yeah, I did that a couple of weeks ago. It was a nightmare. Never again. What was it? Was it 2 on Saturday or 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday?
So Saturday,
1 on Friday, 1 on Saturday.
Saturday was the Christian Life High School homecoming, which they did for the very first time in their gymnasium.
Nice.
Since they had homecomings, they've always been at a restaurant or some event space. This was the first time they did it in their gym, so that was different, and it went very well. They was very well managed. I know I've told you this before, but I'm not a fan of DJing parties. I've loved DJing weddings because they're very organized, and we have a schedule, and here's the music. We know what we're doing, and we have a goal, and here's the end, and we're done. I like the organization of a wedding. You like
the structure and all of that.
The party situation usually turns into a thing where everyone wants their song played, or everyone's making requests. And so when I was asked to do this party, I said, well, stipulation number 1, I need to know for sure that there's enough chaperones to take care of the number of people that will be there. Because especially when it comes to young people parties, I don't want them getting out of hand. I've experienced that before. It was terrible. And number 2, the song list is preset and there's no requests.
Oh,
none. And they got me a list. It was, a 2-hour party. They got me a little over 2 hours worth of music. I went through and and got it all set, and it was great. It went very, very well. Everyone had a good time. 2 hours, bonus song, done. That's how it worked out.
Yeah.
So kudos to Christian Life Schools for putting on a great homecoming for their kids. And then on that Sunday, I DJ'd a wedding for a dear friend's daughter. I'm going to try not to get too emotional here, but you remember Pastor Josh Yang.
Oh yeah.
Passed away a few years ago, unexpectedly.
I know. Very young, 52 maybe.
I want to say he was 54.
Something like that. Yeah, we played ball
in
together.
his 50s, and was a pastor at City First Church, and in the office one morning just dropped dead, heart attack, just like that. Just super, super sad. And at the time, he has 4 kids. His son's good friends with my son, and our kids know each other obviously for years. And I've known Josh for a long, long time. He was a big fan of the Afternoon Adventure show when we were on 101 QFL. Loved to be, he was actually a Tri-Bond Tournament of Champions champion.
Oh, wow.
We had a Tri-Bond Tournament of Champions tournament.
I remember the Tri-Bond every time you did it. I remember.
Hey, yes. And Josh won often. And when we had the tournament at Cherryvale Mall in the East Court of the mall, we actually had the inventor of the game there.
Oh, nice.
And it was a great big deal. We had a lot of fun with that. And Josh won the whole thing.
It's the inventor's from Rockford, right?
His name is from tall dude from Beloit, I think.
Beloit. Okay. But I knew he was from this area. I remember
Patch
that.
Products was the company that made the
Patch
game.
Products, right.
Out of Beloit.
No, either you or Schlody used to do it. I think you probably both did, or maybe you did it. I just remember hearing it all the time. And I listened to QFL almost religiously, pun intended, from morning to night. That was my Mike and Cindy, and then you were in the afternoon, and then it was Mike and Charmel. Well, it was Mike and Charmel, and Cindy was the news director. But anyway, that's going back some years. But I remember the Tri-Bond Challenge. I loved it.
Yes, Tri-Bond Challenge. If it was not weekly, it was daily. It was part of our afternoon adventure and our phone. We called it the Radio Olympics, and we had a lot of fun with games on the afternoon show. So Josh, when I heard that Josh's youngest daughter was engaged to be married, I was like, I would love to serve this family and be a part of her big day. So we were out at Hidden Creek Estates, which is a brand new event space. I think it's technically Caledonia or Roscoe. It might be Roscoe. Up off of McCurry Road. So
all right. Yeah.
If you're going north on 251 toward Beloit, there's a turn for McCurry Road, and
it's just before the Rockton Road exit to go up on I-90
I think so.
McCurry Road, yes.
You head east on McCurry Road, and it curves and turns into Hidden Creek. So up there before the state line is this new place called Hidden Creek Estates. It's a beautiful place. They've just got it started here in the last year and a half or so. And it's gonna be great when they're finished. It's still in the process of working through stuff, but they did a great job with the party. So shout out to Hidden Creek Estates and Dude and Carrie and their staff up there did a wonderful, wonderful job. So last weekend was wonderful. Had a couple of great networking events this week. Thursday nights are Rockford Social Square, which meets at Joseph's. Have you been in Joseph's at all over there off on Spring Creek by Perryville?
I'm not sure what it is.
Joseph's restaurant. It's behind. There's the Edible Arrangements.
Okay.
And there's a Subway over there and stuff. So behind there's Joseph's restaurant. Wonderful restaurant, great food.
Oh, in the little subdivision or the little strip mall looking thing.
Yeah. So
I know where you're talking about.
Fancier place. If you're looking for a nice fancy night out, it's a great place for. They got the good seafood and wonderful stuff. So that was great to. We're getting that group back going again. And then Fridays, the second Friday of the month, our Rockford Linked group meets for lunch at the Machine Shed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're looking for a place to network with other, entrepreneurs, business managers, business owners, stuff like that, there's a couple opportunities to do so there. And then, of course, the In Crowd, which we promote every month here on the show, we'll be talking about them here in a couple weeks, and where they're meeting the last Thursday of this month, which is the last meeting of the year before the event, the fundraiser event.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, so before
Yep.
I get brain fog this morning. It wasn't Mike and Charmel. Charmel was on with Ron Tietze. I remember that.
you're right.
It was Mike and Cindy, but then I think there was somebody named Natalie, Mike and Natalie then. for a
Yeah.
while.
After Natalie left, Cindy left the glass bubble basically and became part of Mike's show, kind of as this.
Okay, that's what it was.
Oh,
That's what it was. Yes. Okay. So I just, as soon as I said Mike and Charmel, I'm like, no. Charmel and Ron Tietze.
That's right.
Anyway, because at that time, by that time, I'd either switched over to 91 because I loved Focus on the Family. I loved Dr. Chuck Swindoll. I loved all of that stuff, and I could listen to that all day. So I was, kind of back and forth. So anyway,
Those were the days.
I feel much better now.
Those were the days.
Mm-hmm. Those were the days. The saddest day was when they sold it. Don't get me wrong. I listened to K-Love and I like Air One, but it's just not the same.
It's not
It's
the
not
same.
the same. No.
About the local connection is just not the same. One other place to give a shout out to this week is the new Union event space downtown Rockford. As you're going south on 2nd Street toward downtown, right before you get to State Street, there is a place on the right that used to be the Union Bingo Hall.
Okay.
And it's no longer a bingo hall. It hasn't been a bingo hall for a while. It's been transformed into an event space that's going to be opening here soon. And we're looking forward. We're doing a Team Sold on Tony Keller Williams Realty Signature Client Appreciation event coming up soon there. And so we got to hang out there a little bit this week to just kind of check out the space and see how it's laid out. And it's huge. It's a nice event space.
Okay. So you say right there did you say 6th and East State?
Street.
Oh, well, North 2nd and East State. Oh, I know where you're talking about now.
Okay.
Right. Just before you get to City Hall.
Right before you get to City Hall, before you get to State Street, there's a place on the right where, if you've ever noticed, there's actually, you can drive under the building.
Drive under it. Yeah.
There's only about a dozen parking spots under the building.
Yeah.
But there's parking at the Trinity Lutheran to the west. And then there's public parking on the east. And this event space is going to be a place where you can have parties of 200 plus people if you want to.
I was at a wedding reception there one time.
When it was Bingo Hall?
Yeah, it was the Union. It's where the Union met, but probably the Bingo Hall too. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's been transformed. It's beautiful. There's a bridal suite that's all been updated and everything. And it's something else. So really looking forward as that becomes more of a staple of an event space here in Rockford. Shout out to the Union. Check out their Facebook page and their website for some really cool photos on that. The Rock Valley College Starlight Theater. And this is a surprise. This is a surprise. I got a role in the Starlight Christmas Traditions show for this Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Scrooge.
So I'm gonna thanks, Tom.
Well, yeah.
If you'll remember, 2 years ago, I was the Father Alexandrios of Mamma Mia.
Mm-hmm.
This time I get to be Reverend Hopkins. Apparently I've been typecast because I'm going to be a reverend again. But the worst Christmas pageant ever, or the best Christmas pageant ever, however you want to call it, is a fun little show that you're going to want to bring the family to and make it part. They're calling it Starlight Traditions because that's what they would really like to see, is families make this a part of their Christmas tradition, coming to this show every year. Last year it was the musical version of A Christmas Story, Ralphie and the BB gun.
Yep. Shoot your eye out.
And before that it was Charlie Brown Christmas. So this year it's the worst Christmas pageant ever, or best Christmas pageant ever, however you want to say it. So I'll be encouraging you to come out to that as we get closer. We had our first read through this week, and rehearsal is starting, and that's going to be exciting fun at Rock Valley College. Starlight Theater, which, by the way, I know what you're thinking. Starlight Theater is outdoors. Who wants to go to a show in November and December outdoors? The show's actually indoors. On the stage with the doors closed is big enough to still seat about 250 people.
Wow.
So with the doors closed, they set up a cabin on the stage. It's not quite a show in the round. It's like a half horseshoe. So the play is presented at 180 degrees. It's pretty cool. And that's not the temperature in there. It will be a little on the chilly side, but there are heaters, so no one was going to get cold.
Yeah.
When you have the stage like that, you can actually hang like heaters from the rafters down close to the audience, and that actually keeps everybody nice and warm. So it's a cool setup. Looking forward to the Christmas tradition show at Rock Valley College Starlight Theater. And yeah, the last thing I guess I'll mention this week is as a realtor, it's every 2 years we have to take continuing education to renew our license. And I knocked out 6 hours of my 12 required hours this week going to class. So I spent pretty much most of the day Wednesday in a chair in a classroom, listening to a wonderful lady talk, who's a really good instructor. I'm glad she comes to Rockford to do this. And the Rockford Area Association of Realtors providing great continuing education classes so we can renew our licenses and stay legal.
Yeah.
I want to stay legal. All right. There's the extent of my shout outs this week, Tom. You got anything to add?
No shout outs. No rants.
Any great
plenty of rants, people driving like idiots, but yeah, it's the same thing as every week. So
I did have to hit my brakes this week. I almost hit somebody in a car, in a SUV that was not paying attention, pulling out of a parking lot. And yeah, had to I actually squealed the tires. I hit the brakes so hard. That's not something that happens every day, thankfully. But
yeah.
Watch out, people. Watch out, pay attention. Joann, feel free to jump in at any time. We're gonna have some SMS info here in just a minute. I don't think I've got anything else to add. That's pretty good. Oh, there she is. Hey, Joann.
She's muted.
I had walked away for a minute.
Now she's
sorry.
Unmuted.
I'm not in the middle.
You're on the side. Kudos. One more shout out. Brewers beat the Braves 2-1 last night. Tough pitching match of a game. Corbin Burns getting the job done. And yeah, so I'm really excited about the Brewers taking a 1-0 lead over the Braves. Really interesting series because the Braves were in Milwaukee in the 50s before moving to Atlanta.
Yeah, 58, I believe, or 59. 58 was the last time the Milwaukee Braves played a playoff game.
Or
the Braves played a playoff game in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and then they
were the Milwaukee Braves.
Went to Atlanta. And it's an interesting story because before the Braves were in Milwaukee, they were in Boston.
Yep.
And they left. The story behind them leaving Boston, I didn't get all the details, but the owner was starting to get kind of upset because the Red Sox were taking all the fans from the Braves. More people were cheering for the Red Sox and the Braves in Boston. I'm not sure why, what was going on there, but whatever the case was, he decided, you know what? Secretly, he was looking for a new town to move to, and he moved the Braves to Milwaukee and didn't tell his kids or even his wife that he was doing it. He just did it.
Wow.
And they pulled up stakes, moved to Milwaukee. Milwaukee had this amazing, multi-million-dollar county stadium to use, and he took advantage of it. And he was there. They were there for 5 years, maybe. And then they pulled up stakes again and went to Atlanta to another brand new stadium in downtown Atlanta. And they're this county stadium set, barely used at all for over a decade before the Seattle Pilots went bankrupt and Bud Selig bought them and brought them to Milwaukee.
Yeah. Very interesting. I want to say 59 was the first year of the Milwaukee Braves. So 58 was probably the last year for Boston, or maybe 58 was, and then you're right. It was
53. I think it was a lot earlier than that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Let me see if I can pull this up here real quick.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, let me just throw this out there. Okay.
Time for Tom's rant.
How long?
Well, no, not a rant. We all went through this whole. Oh, go ahead.
They were in Milwaukee for 13 years.
Okay. When did they start?
So, where was this? Milwaukee County Stadium, Milwaukee Braves. Come on, where's the date? Fewer than 13,000 people attended the final Braves game at County Stadium, a 7-6 loss in 11 innings to the Dodgers. When the Braves successfully knocked future Hall of Famer Sandy Koufax out early, the extra inning baseball could have been reminiscent of the first game at County Stadium in 1953.
Oh, you were right. Very good.
So from 53 to 65, the Milwaukee Braves, Eddie Matthews,
Hank Aaron,
popular player during the franchise's 13-year run in Milwaukee, only player to span the entirety of the team being there.
Wow.
So yeah, it was longer than I thought it was. But then they pulled up stakes in like 65 and went to Atlanta. So
okay.
It wasn't 5 or 6 years that County Stadium didn't really have a tenant until
well, didn't the Packers play there for a while? Because the Packers were playing half of their home games there. Because I went to a County Stadium game back in 91, I believe it was 92.
Which might sound ridiculous, but you have to realize back in the day, back in the 60s, the stadium in Green Bay wasn't anything to smile
like
about.
It is now.
No, it wasn't. It was just City Stadium, well, Lambeau Field, but it was just a stadium, and that was it. There was no pomp and circumstance, no nothing. No, the press boxes were just press boxes. It looked like a very good college stadium, back in the day.
I don't know that there was even any luxury boxes at all. It was all a bowl, a press box, like you typically see at your typical lower rung college these days.
Right. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. I've been kind of watching this for a while. The Washington Redskins, yeah, I said it. They were the Redskins from 1933 up until 2 years ago, when the NFL decided to, pat themselves on the back in holier than thou fashion, because they wanted to get Daniel Snyder. They had some dirt on him. They said, look, you change your name and we'll let it all go away. Not sure what it was. It had something to do with financial stuff, whatever. They don't like Daniel Snyder because he does not kowtow to them. And of course, Roger Goodell always has to be right, always has to be, King Roger. Well, anyway, I thought it was interesting 3 years ago, whatever it was now, that the Redskins are no longer the Redskins. Now it's the Washington football team, which I'm getting so tired of it. Pick a name already. I like the Washington Hogs. I think that's a good name. But what about the Kansas City Chiefs? Is that not in the same? I mean, the Kansas City, the NFL doesn't dare mess with that. The Super Bowl champs of a year ago.
I do think there's a difference between calling someone a Chief and calling someone a Redskin.
I get that part of it. So then why are the Braves now? This is what the point was. Why are the Braves and the Indians now? Cleveland Indians are going to change their name. Some people got upset the other day. I was listening to sports radio. They said, well, the team from Atlanta, I'm not going to call them the Braves. I'm like, oh, come on. So now they're going to be changed.
Braves are definitely honoring as far as I'm concerned. Indians and Redskins, I get the argument. I do get the argument. So what,
Yeah. I just thought it was funny though,
I get it. I get that. So yeah, the Indians are becoming the Guardians next year.
Yeah, the Guardians. Okay, but
We'll probably find something wrong with that.
Yeah, we probably, the Angels are going to be upset.
Aren't,
now.
I thought the Winnebago, Illinois, they still had, I thought they were still, but of course, Freeport's the pretzels.
Yeah, we got Winnebago Indians, you got Dakota Indians, Pecatonica Indians, Hononegah Indians.
Okay, I thought that was true.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There are a dozen, especially in this region of northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. There are dozens of Indian names. And I think back in the day, back in the like 1920s, Milledgeville used to be the Milledgeville Midgets. and they had to I don't know what.
But I do think that we need to be, you know, it was a different time when those teams were named. And I do think we need to be aware of the significance of not bullying, maybe, is that the term? Or not degrading someone. I mean, we don't call them the white-faced.
Right.
Or what is the gringos? Isn't that the Hispanic term for white people? The gringos.
Yeah, gringos, yeah, that's for white people.
I know, I mean, I'm just saying we need to be more aware of it. And I do think that it was a time when it was okay to do that. And now's the time that it's not okay. So we need to look at that.
Well, okay. And I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, but I want to know by whose definition, because if I say, well, I think it's okay, and you say, well, no, it's not, then where do you go? You flip a coin or what? I do understand if someone's offended, if a group is offended, but I want to know why you're offended, because from what I understand, when the Redskins name was being changed, there were a lot of Native Americans who said, we don't care. We just simply don't care. You're going to get that. For 100 Native Americans who say, you know, that you ask, 30 of them might say, we don't care, but 70 of them might say, we do care. So you can't ever know, really, because you might ask the 30 that say, we don't care.
Yeah, you're never.
I don't think it's by caring. I think it's a political thing that, political sensitive. We need to be sensitive just because they don't care. I don't know if I would want to be, well, maybe I would like a team named the Stewarts. If I got money out of it.
The Fighting Joanns.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joann. The team Joann. Go, Joe. Go, Joe.
No, it's the Quilters.
No,
it's the Fighting Quilters.
The Quilters. Mighty, mighty Quilters.
There you go. Give me a Q. Give me a U. Give me an I. Give me an L.
I just think we need to be aware of hurting other people, I guess. Just because it was okay in the 50s doesn't mean it's okay now.
I agree. I agree. But I just think that
we were the truckers.
Slippery slope.
So
the truckers.
Mighty, mighty truckers. Who are we?
The truckers?
But truckers.
Oh, I'm sure you didn't get called anything but that. Sure. What was your high school? But it was
because where I'm from, we were, there was a big plant, the FWD, 4-wheel drive, and we made not me, but we had fire engines that were developed. So we were the truckers.
Did you like, was your team slogan like, we'll roll you over, or we'll roll over you or something?
I don't know. We were, the only cheer I know is we were the truckers. I wasn't a cheerleader.
What was the name of your high school? What high school did you go to then?
It was Clintonville.
Clintonville Truckers. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's no different than the DeKalb Barbs or the Rochelle Hubs. The Rochelle Hubs, because I think they made hubcaps.
Wasn't there also like the in Chicago, the meat packers or something?
Right. Well, the Packers were the Acme Packers.
Yeah.
That's how they got their name.
I forgot
Acme about those Meat Packing Company. So I don't know if you can hear my dog in the background.
Hubcaps in Rochelle. That just
Rochelle Hubs. Okay, the other thing I wanted to. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just said we could argue this forever.
Yeah, we could. It's pointless, really, because we can't really do anything about it. But I just thought the way they went around the Daniel Snyder thing, I had no problem changing the name, but the way they went about it was just bullying. It was absolute bullying what they did to Daniel Snyder. I am no fan of Daniel Snyder by any means.
No.
But I was actually, the refs did it again on Sunday night. Packer game was Sunday afternoon. They did it again to the Packers. I mean, they won 27-17, but there were so many bad calls again. Not that many, but about 3 of them that were just absolutely horrible. And it's not just Packer game. It's NFL wide.
Mm-hmm.
It is NFL wide. There needs to be something done,
If the video replay stuff is supposed to fix everything, well, it's not everything. And I think you had said a couple weeks ago, maybe it's time to just get rid of it completely and just let things.
Oh, I've been saying that for 15 years. Absolutely get rid of it, because when we watch the video replay, they're like, okay, there it is, foot on it. You can see grass there. It's clearly a catch. And they say, after further review, he was out of bounds. No, I don't know what video you're watching. It doesn't work. Get rid of it, because all it does is it creates the problem for the ref. Do I throw the flag? Do I not throw the flag? Should I wait and maybe somebody else will throw the flag? And by that time it's too late. And then nobody likes a late flag. Yeah. So that's why they get tentative, because the eye in the sky and they don't know what the other guy sees. And,
I think I'm still in favor of the video replay as long as they don't draw it out too long.
Well, yeah, this 4 minutes, you go to a 4-minute commercial and then you come back and they're still talking. Those are the times. Here they're talking about speeding up the game and not having a 3.5 hour broadcast. Good luck with that. Stop with your video replays.
A while back where the volunteer chain gang guys really didn't know what they were doing. It was kind of comical to watch them more than one. They picked up the chains to move for a first down when the ref did not tell them to do it. And
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, it's not a first down. Well, you don't get to determine that as the chain gang. You have to listen to the officials, and they were just determining.
That's right.
No.
Then I remember they had to go back and look at video to find out exactly where it was, and had to get him back in place.
This was a high school game.
Oh, well, that happened in the NFL too.
Games are volunteers.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd ever done it before. It's like,
Okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you were saying, but this also happened in an NFL game where, and I thought it was the replacement. It might not have been the replacement. I don't know, but it happened in an NFL game where they actually picked up and took off and went and did the thing, and it wasn't quite a first down. I do remember that.
No better. But yeah. Anyway. All right. So enough football talk. Here's some things that you can do this weekend and enjoy the Rockford area. Clem Arboretum, Botanic Garden. They've got a thing going on starting today throughout this next week. Autumn at the Arboretum, back for another year, week-long free community event. Admission is free for all visitors starting today through the 15th. Highlights of the week include the popular straw bale maze. For the kids love that thing. Fall-themed displays, self-guided smartphone fall color tour, and a Clem scavenger hunt. A free educational webinar is online, a doggy costume contest, all kinds of fun stuff. Even the Kiwanis Club of Rockford is doing some special stuff out there this week. So today through Friday the 15th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily, admission is free, and food and drink will be available to purchase out at Clem Arboretum, 2715 South Main Street, Rockford. If you've never been there, it's one of those things you need to go out and see.
It's a beautiful place. Don't go next weekend because there's a wedding there.
Right. Go this week.
I'm DJing it.
Go this weekend or during the week this week, not next weekend. Ethnic Heritage Museum has something special today starting at 2. It's Angela Jackson, Illinois Poet Laureate, Laureate, L-A-U-R-E-A-T, Laureate.
Laureate, yeah.
The African American Gallery, happy to host the Illinois Poet Laureate, Angela Jackson. Special program with readings and host conversations around poetry. That's today at 2:00. And donations are greatly appreciated. The event itself is free, open to all audiences. That's today at 2. Ethnic Heritage Museum.
No, I'm on the radio.
And then one more little shout out, because I think this girl is pretty cool. Darcy Lynn, remember her from America's Got Talent? Darcy.
Well, she's coming today, isn't she?
Yeah, she's at the
The
Coronado.
ventriloquist.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Coronado Performing Arts Center tonight at 7:00. It's Darcy Lynn. She sings. She's got these cute puppets that she's a ventriloquist, and kind of along the lines of Jeff Dunham, if you know Jeff Dunham. Just a cute gal, good singer. She could sing just by herself, but she does it without moving her lips, and the puppets sing.
The puppets sing.
It's amazing. She's logging more than.
He said, I thought that she had been like 2 years ago. This is her concert that has come back.
I think you're right. I think
she's not returning, but it was canceled because of COVID.
Yeah.
So now she's even more talented.
It's right.
Yeah, she's got 2 years more experience. How much does it cost to get in, and what time's the show?
So
7, he said.
The show starts at 7. When she was only 12 years old, when she won America's Got Talent here back a few years ago. Gosh, it's been, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years. I don't see ticket prices. It's probably I think ticket prices start at like $24 and go up from there, if I remember right. Of course, she's big on TikTok like everybody else is these days if they're stars.
Except for us, right?
Darcy Lynn, My Lips Are Sealed Except When They're Not. The tour. And here she is in Rockford. Let me see if I can find a ticket price here for you. Tickets are loading, and they start at $26.
Wow.
There we go.
Okay.
Tom, you can take me.
Okay, let's go.
One of the things, and I'll point this out too, the ticket price is not cheap, obviously. One of the things to remember about going to the Coronado Performing Arts Center, it's not just the concert or the performance, it's the theater. Being in there, sitting in those vintage seats and taking in what is the atmosphere of the Coronado Theater, that alone is a ticket price right there. Half the ticket price is worth it just by going in being there.
Is the atmosphere.
Yes. So I encourage you to take that into consideration before saying, oh, these ticket prices are crazy high. Yes, they're not cheap. I get it, but it's part of the experience of being in that awesome 100-year-old theater, however old it is. So, all right. So that's the GoRockford.com stuff. Want to give a shout out today to Joe and Shirley Clinton of formerly of McChesney Park. Now I think in Loves Park. They're celebrating today their 78th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Joe Clinton lied about his age in order to enlist in the Navy for World War II. And while stationed at Great Lakes Naval Base, he met a young lady named Shirley, who's now 95. Joe's now 97 or 96, for real, not lying. He was going through basic training, going to be shipped out to the Philippines. He wanted to marry his sweetheart, Shirley. And so they eloped up to Kenosha and got married by a justice of the peace. What a great story. He goes off to the Philippines in the Navy and comes back. And by the time he got back, Joe Jr. was born. So they have a war baby. They have 4 sons and a daughter. Joe, Bob, Pat, Tom, and their daughter, Debbie, who have done business with at Keller Williams. She's an agent here in town. They have 16 grandchildren, 39 great-grandchildren, and at least 2 great-great-grandchildren at the time of printing this week. The secret to their longevity of marriage, Shirley says, keep God in the center of your lives, have a good sense of humor, and don't go to bed angry. So there's Shirley's tips to you if you want to be married for 78 years. And kudos to Joe and Shirley Clinton, formerly of McChesney Park, now part of Fairhaven Retirement Center, which is that technically Rockford or Loves Park? I think it's
Fairhaven.
I
think it's
south of Rivers. I think it's anyway. That's where they are. The National Flood Insurance Program, which was created in 1968, provides flood insurance for over 3 million U.S. homes. And a warning here, your rates are going up. starting this month. The FEMA is adjusting rates. They told us 2 years ago they were going to do this, and they're going to start doing this month. They're nudging people toward less flood-prone areas to protect against the economic and human cost of flooding. New costs for insurance, especially in Florida, where over 12,000 homes will see rates increase anywhere from $360 to $1,200 a year. They're already paying, quite a bit. So if you got flood insurance, I always tell people when they're looking at homes, if you're in the floodplain and you're getting a loan, your lender will require flood insurance. So you better factor that into your monthly payment. Before we get into our randoms this week, this might be the weirdest thing you hear all day. Duran Musa is a Kazakh businessman who claims he owns the Soviet-built space shuttle. Did you know the Soviets built a space shuttle? It's called.
We do now.
It's called Burya, B-U-R-Y-A, Burya.
Burya.
Duran is refusing to hand over the keys to the space shuttle to Russia unless they trade him the actual skull of Kanasary Kazmov, a 19th century Kazakh leader. This isn't a joke.
Wow.
This is real. You can look it up. The guy's name is Duran, D-A-U-R-E-N, Duran Musa, M-U-S-A, which is kind of funny.
So who has the skull right now?
The Russian government has it now, probably in a museum of some sort in Russia. And this guy.
And why does he want the skull?
I don't know. Why would anybody want a skull?
I have to let dogs out. Hold on. I'm sorry.
I'm going to let dogs out. I freaked him out with the story.
Now we know who let the dogs out.
Tom, let the dogs out. Tom. All right. The randoms for the week. Several companies are working on a COVID-19 breathalyzer, which could deliver results as quickly as 30 seconds. I bet by January, February, we're going to start seeing those come out. A broadband firm in South Korea is suing Netflix over a surge in traffic due to the Squid Game title. Have you heard about the Squid Game show on Netflix, guys?
The what game?
Squid Game.
Squid.
The show
Squid
on
Game. No,
He
I
doesn't
haven't.
have Netflix.
This
Yeah, I
guy
do.
has been trying for years to get this show produced, and he finally got someone to produce it, and it's going crazy. Netflix is I tried to start watching it the other night, and I wasn't in the frame of it. It's in subtitles. It's in Korean. So you got to kind of be in that mindset to watch something where you're reading and watching.
To listen.
I wasn't in the place, so I couldn't. I only watched maybe 5 minutes. I was like, okay, I got to watch this later. This isn't going to work today, but I am going to watch it eventually. Squid Game. Sales of the white Vans, the shoes, the slip-on shoes featured in Netflix breakout hit Squid Game spiked 7,800% since the series premiered. I hope you bought stock in Vans because way up. And also this year for Halloween, you're going to see lots of people wearing green jumpsuits, green like jogging suits, like Nike suits or whatever, Adidas, all green with white shoes. And when you see those people, it's because they watch Squid Game.
Wow.
That's what's coming, just as a warning. Amazon has spent about $50 million per year developing a smart refrigerator that can help you track what's inside, because opening the door and peeking is too difficult, apparently. And for $11 million, there's an abandoned 250-acre water park in California's Mojave Desert that could be yours. You want to buy a 250-acre water park in California?
I'm sure I'll buy it.
Well,
I thought we bought something else.
Let's take a look and see if this is something we want to buy. All right. This is from SACME.com. Erie Abandoned Water Park lists for $11 million. The abandoned dangerous water park in the desert, Lake Dolores, Rockahula. The last time it was running was in 2004. It's morphed into 250 acres of post-apocalyptic looking wasteland. That looks special, doesn't it?
Wow.
Looks like a place they should be filming movies. Parked open.
Halloween 17.
riddled with bad luck, arson, bankruptcy, an employee accident, and waddled through 3 attempts to rebrand and reopen, only to have the park decay into a strange ghost town. Yeah.
Okay. I withdraw my offer to buy.
I'm not interested either. I'm really not interested either.
Why don't they just tear it down? I mean, wouldn't that be prime space? Of course,
Well,
it's in the
Mojave
desert.
Desert. There's not much. There's
Yeah.
nothing out there right now. So
Yeah.
And last but not least, over 100 million Americans are listening to podcasts every week. And sometimes they even listen to our little podcast here on YouTube. So it's still.
We haven't been making money yet.
We still have made a great big whopping $0.
Yeah, well.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I keep looking for my paycheck in the mail and it's not coming.
Yeah.
It's in the mail.
In the mail.
In the mail.
Lost forever in the mail. Well,
That's the dead letter pile.
That's all my randoms for this week, Joann. Do we? You've got a pet to share, and I'm going to share that on Facebook now. Do you want to tour?
It was kind of a sad story of a pet. They adopted him in February, and he was returned. He didn't get along with the other resident cats.
No.
So his name is Jeffrey.
Let's get Jeffrey a forever home. Do you have enough battery power to take us around today?
Yes, I'm sorry. I will double check. But last time something was wrong with the I don't know what you call it, the attachment. I goofed.
Wasn't charging properly.
Yeah, I goofed. Okay. I want to show you these kittens. This is, if you like orange kittens, you need to come because
all right, I'll be there.
4 of them in here. I think there's only one boy, which is unusual because mostly orange kitten, but they're a little fluffy. A little fluffy. Just adorable. Another bonded pair, Lily, and I can't find the other name. The black one back there. We still have our sale going on if you're interested. I think today is the last day, so they've got some stuff for you. Okay, here's another. I don't think this is listed as bonded pair, though. Another tuxedo. This is Sugar Bear still here.
Oh. Sugar Bear.
And then this is the cat we talked about last week, Marianne. Marianne's gonna come and say hello. And we kind of cut off our. That's a beautiful cats. Another bonded pair. They're doing a special on bonded pairs. You can look on the website, but I'm trying to encourage people to buy. What word I use? The adopt a bonded pair. This is Jeffrey.
You look so sweet and innocent. Was it he that couldn't get along with the other one, or the other one?
Oh, we're not talking about that.
Oh, okay.
It just said he didn't get along. They didn't say who was at fault. That face. Yeah, and this is a young family yet. They're not ready for adoption, but their foster couldn't keep them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kittens and the mom.
Wow.
Very, very busy family.
Yeah.
She's like, take them away, adopt them quick. But they're not quite ready for adoption yet. And then this is back to our side homes. This is another bonded pair. I thought it was adopt a bonded pair of kittens. Usually one kitten is $80 adoption fee. So I think the adoption fee right now is $100 for a pair, but don't call me and tell me I'm wrong. But they're really pushing bonded pairs right now. Someone's calling me. This is porridge, peace porridge. Oh boy. Oshkosh. So kind of the tour. I don't know if I missed anyone. They name names I can't always say. This is Cletus.
Whenever I think of the word Cletus, I think of a guy who fixes trucks and cars.
Yeah.
Cletus.
Something from the Andy
Dukes
Griffith
of Hazzard or something.
Hazard. That's right. Dukes of Hazzard. That's right. Who was that? Roscoe Pico drink.
And just the community room. We've got another bonded pair here. This is a 2-for-1. The 2 tuxedos.
Oh. Twice.
I don't know how many cats. I didn't count. 1, 2, 6 cats in here.
Hanging out in the community room. How are you doing on volunteers at Pause right now?
Always need new volunteers. I think they were just saying on Facebook how they were needing volunteers, and always foster parents too.
All right. So if you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, check out Pause Humane Society, Rockford, over there by the Cherryvale Mall, and see what you can do for them. Awesome. 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 All right. We do have a big number of the week this week. And it's a big one. It's 58 billion. That's a big number.
Are we tied or?
We sit right now. The score is 3-3.
3-3. Okay. This a lot of pressure here.
Big race to 10. So this week's answer is wedding or WhatsApp. Wedding or WhatsApp. And your guess now, please. In 3, 2, 1, go.
WhatsApp.
All right. You both guessed the same thing. So I'll just keep the cap on my pen. Weddings are a big part of the economy in Las Vegas. How big? Go ahead, say how big are they?
How big are they?
Wedding related tourism accounts for nearly $2 billion of the city's annual $58 billion tourism industry, generating 18,000 jobs. More than 70,000 people get hitched every year in Vegas. And that's we know that tourism is big in Vegas, but did you know $58 billion worth? How much of that is just money lost in slot machines?
Is that drunks? That can't be just drunks getting married and thinking it's a good idea.
I think a lot of it is. I think a lot of it is. So that's the wedding story. The WhatsApp story, if in case you didn't know, on Monday, Facebook suffered about a 6-hour outage.
Mm-hmm.
Its worst outage since 2008, which also took down Instagram and WhatsApp. Now, for us here in America, a lot of us jumped over to Twitter and made funny memes about, this, Twitter's a better option, whatever. But the outage was a lot scarier in other parts of the world because the WhatsApp app has become a critical part of infrastructure for a lot of different countries. According to Business of Apps, the Facebook-owned app has over 2.5 billion users around the world, and it's the most popular messaging app in over 100 countries. So in developing countries with underdeveloped telecom options or really, really expensive telecom options, the WhatsApp alternative is the alternative to use instead of text. So 7 countries like Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, also Argentina, Malaysia, Colombia, and Brazil, they have over 90% of their population using the WhatsApp app. And when it went down, it's like having the entire phone system going down.
Wow.
It disabled a whole lot of things. And it was
for Facebook, you just didn't see what we were having for lunch.
That's right. Yeah. No food pictures or funny cat stories. So anywho, thankfully we all survived it. But I did have somebody say, you might want to tell everybody, Greg, if all of social media goes down, let people know that they should meet at their local library Saturday morning at 9.
What happens there?
Information about what the heck is going on.
Oh.
How about this? Meet Saturday morning at 8 so you can watch this show. Then
YouTube doesn't go down, but if everything goes down, if all social media goes down, if the internet goes down, there is a group that says meet at 9 a.m. at your local library. Someone will be there to give you
the librarian.
Librarian will be handing out library cards. No, I don't know what it'll be, but anyway. Think about.
We'll never know.
Well, that's our show for the week.
All right, go Packers.
Go Packers. Go Brewers.
Go Brewers. Yeah, baby.
And remember, you change the world when you help one person. So be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here for another Saturday morning Stateline show. See you, Joann. See you, Tom.
Bye, all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.